Right, welcome ladies and gentlemen to the other half of the video. This is something that not everyone's going to see, and who could have guessed it? It is a British food, snacks and drinks tier list, because I know that for too long people have been wondering what my incredibly important opinions are, and today we will answer them, for this is quite possibly the most important thing you can ask a British person, and one of the most critical determining factors when it comes to knowing whether to trust a human being or to distance yourself from them. So yes, let's start with this lovely tier list. It's going to of course begin with Aero chocolate bars. Now these are quite fun. They're kind of like chocolate bars with air pockets in them, and you know what, I'm gonna say they're pretty good. They're nice, they're very tasty, but they can be a bit sickly. As far as chocolates go, it is definitely pretty good category. Then we have After Eight mints. These are basically mint chocolates. They're very strong and minty, and many people like them. However, I don't think they're that great because I don't like mint chocolate. I think that's a terrible idea. If I want mint, I'll just eat toothpaste, mate. Then we've got Heinz beans. I'm actually gonna combine Heinz beans and cheese with beans on toast in the not great category. This is probably the most controversial opinion of the night, and I'm sure many of you are currently hammering into the keyboard that I should yeet myself off of Big Ben. However, I just think beans are bad. They're just a bad vessel for food, and adding them to bread and cheese doesn't exactly improve the situation. So yeah, not great. Then we've got black pudding, otherwise known as blood pudding. It gets its name because it is basically blood mixed with herbs and barley. Definitely quite a disgusting food when you think about it. However, I think it's bloody lovely. I guess I'm just too British for some people. And yes, we in the UK never stopped quite eating like we were in the Blitz or we were role-playing feudal peasants. Then we've got Bounty chocolate bars. These are a disgrace to Britain. It's just disgusting. Just the worst chocolate bar. I hate it. Then we've got Bourbon biscuits. Oh, these are fantastic. These are bloody lovely. A chocolate biscuit with a layer of chocolate cream on the inside. Oh, dipping that into a cup of tea is a blessing. And then we've got Dairy Milk buttons in yogurt form. These are pretty good. I think these are all right. They're kind of tasty, but it's just very sickly. Then we've got crackers and cheese. This is a blessing to Britain. Whoever created crackers and then had the idea of putting cheese on them, phenomenal. Then we've got KP cheese balls. These are a disgrace to Britain. They're disgusting. Along with Cheez-Its. I think they're just abysmal. Cheese flavored crisps are revolting. They just kind of taste of chemicals. If I wanted to eat cheese, I'd eat cheese. I wouldn't eat synthetic cheese. I'm not an American layering plastic on top of a burger. Oh, then we've got a prime lovely little dessert cake in the top of a glacier cherry. Oh, I love these. Are good fun. They're pretty good. I know it's kind of controversial. I think in the modern day and age people have fallen off with the love of the Bakewell, but I think they're still pretty solid. Next up we've got Chewits. These are kind of like a sweet. They're pretty good. I think they're all right. Nothing sensationally great. Oh, and finally we got chip butty. Yes, this is good. I can let the northern fly out, mate. This is a chip butty. If you've never had chip butty, it is potato chips or the fries for the American persuaded people, usually with some kind of sauce, probably ketchup. It's laid inside of bread or cob or bap, depending on who you speak to and which part of the UK they're from. This is bloody lovely. It is absolutely bloody lovely. Oh, and then we've got Terry's chocolate orange. This is a blessing to Britain. A certified Christmas banger. If you are celebrating Christmas and you don't get a Terry's chocolate orange, something has gone wrong in your life. On the inverse of the holiday chocolate scale, we have cream eggs. I think these are not great. This is because they are rammed with fondant icing on the inside. They are sickly. Eating them makes you feel like your arteries are clogging up and you're going to drop dead of stage 75 diabetes at a moment's notice. But it's okay because Britain is saved as we have crumpets. Yeah, crumpets are great. They're pretty good. It's basically a form of bread, usually with butter, toasted. It's just really quite nice. Oh, and then we have what is probably my favorite chocolate bar of all. It's the Crunchy, ladies and gentlemen. This is a blessing to Britain. It is honeycomb or cinder toffee wrapped inside of chocolate, handed to you in a bar. It is wonderful. One of Cadbury's greatest creations, and then after the Americans bought it, it's gone downhill. I want my original Crunchy bar back, but I know it's never gonna happen, so I'll still remember you, Crunchy bar. You were amazing. Speaking of Americans ruining things, it's the Cadbury's Dairy Milk Bar, which is now in the not great category. This used to be a phenomenal piece of chocolate, and then Kraft ruined everything. I hate mega corporations. But hey, if there's one mega corporation I love, it's McVitie's, because they made the digestive biscuit, which is bloody lovely. It's a very solid biscuit, perfect for dunking in tea. Very nice. Then we have what I believe is a kebab. Kebab meat, it's alright. It's pretty neutral as far as meals go. A fantastic meal, however, is fish and chips, which is just a massive fish dipped in batter, made very crispy and served with large quantities of potato. Yes, this is genuinely one of the nicest things in the universe. I know other countries have attempted to do fish and chips, but every time I've tried them, they're just disappointing. If you want a proper fish and chips, come to the UK and give it a try. Okay, next up we've got fish fingers. These are not great. Look, if you're gonna have battered fish, have it in the form of fish and chips, not in the form of tiny string reformed fish. Oh, and then we've got Freddos. Yes, this is a bloody lovely chocolate. If you don't know, the Freddo is actually how we in the UK gauge inflation. You see, Freddos in the bygone era used to cost only half a threepence, whereas now in the modern day, Freddos can be sold on the black market for upwards of £50,000. But put simply, they're very tasty. Then we've got Fridge Raiders. These don't really feel very British. They're kind of alright. It's just breaded chicken that you eat cold. It's fine. It's a tasty snack. Fruit Winders, however, yeah, this is pretty good. This is basically pureed fruit in a winder form. I think there is an American alternative, but it's not as cool as our British alternative. So yeah, it's in the pretty good category. Oh, and then, ladies and gentlemen, oh yes, they say that the British god on the seventh day didn't rest, for he created something better. He created hobnobs. Yes, this is a blessing to Britain. For those that don't know, the hobnob is like a digestive biscuit, but made more oaty. It's got a stronger form to it. It can suck up more tea, and as a result, it is perfect in every way. This is the tea dunker's delight. I will accept no slander and besmirchment of the hobnob's name. Truly fantastic. Anyway, we can also do some quickfire ones. Hula hoops, they're pretty good. They're hoop-shaped crisps, or chips if you're foreign. They're pretty tasty. Then we've got Iron Brew. This is a blessing to Britain. This is the greatest thing to come out of Scotland ever. I used to believe that Hume was potentially the greatest Scottish export with his fantastic takes on philosophy. However, no, Iron Brew is objectively better. It tastes fantastic, and it is so good that for a while America banned it. It has no discernible taste, and if you were to describe it to someone, you wouldn't be able to. Safe to say, you need to try some Iron Brew. Okay, next up we've got Jaffa Cakes. Once again, another controversial opinion. I think they're just alright. Okay, look, if you grew up watching the Yogscast, you're probably going to be quite angry at me, but Jaffa Cakes, they're just kind of, they're fine. I'm not going to dunk it into tea. It's got terrible form for that. So for a biscuit slash cake, yeah, it's just not very good. Oh, then we've got Hartley Strawberry Jam. This is pretty good. It's a solid form of jam. Nice to put on your toast. Nice to put on your crumpets. Nice to put inside of your chip butties. I'm not going to judge. But for an even better formation of jam, you have Jammy Dodgers. This is a biscuit with jam on the inside, and it's bloody lovely. Oh, there's also Jelly Babies. Yes, these are very good. They're just jellied sweets, but in the shape of babies, which makes them better than Chewits, because it cures the insatiable British desire to crush children. And ever since we closed down all of the smog factories in London, this is the only way you can get that kick. Next up, we have the Kinder Surprise Egg. I don't really think this is a British snack, because it's very German, but yeah, it's alright. It's basically just a chocolate egg with a small toy inside of it. Once again, Americans banned this because they believed it was a choking hazard and would kill children. I instead believe that the Kinder Surprise Egg is Darwinism in real time. Next up, we have KP Original Salted Peanuts. These are pretty good. They're just a decent snack. Magic Stars, these are alright. My wife really likes them. I think they're just a weirdly shaped form of chocolate. Then we have Moams. Once again, I'm like 90% certain this is German, not British, but hey, they're alright as well. Now we have some controversial opinions. Marmite. I don't think this is that good. It's not great. Now, once again, my wife loves Marmite. I think it's pretty bad. A spread that actively makes you want to throw up if you put too much on a piece of toast is probably not a good spread. Eating anything that has been coated in Marmite feels like you're back in the Blitz, and I'd much rather eat 700,000 hobnobs than have to eat anything with Marmite on it. So yeah, it's in the not great tier. Next up, we have Matchmakers. These are going straight into the disgrace to Britain tier. It's just a mint form of chocolate. It sucks. Next up, we have the Tesco Meal Deal. This is going to go into the it's alright tier. Basically, for those of you that don't know, in the UK, we can go into most major supermarkets and pick up a sandwich, a snack, and a drink, usually for a round price. Recently, I picked up a Tesco Meal Deal, which netted me 3 sandwiches, a pot of watermelon, and a large drink, all for the low cost of £4. So yeah, it's pretty good. And whilst relying on them entirely will probably lead you to an early grave, for the nation's tradespeople, the Tesco Meal Deal is a glorious invention. Okay, next up we've got Millionaire's Shortbread, which is a shortbread topped with a very thick layer of caramel and then topped off with chocolate. This is bloody lovely. It's one of the tastiest things ever created. I love it. If something will kill me, it's gonna be this, and it would be a brilliant way to go out. Okay, then we've got a selection of crisps, place them all at the same time. Mini cheddars are going in the not great category. You know my opinion on cheesy crisps. Monster Munch are going in the pretty good category. Pom Bears are going into the bloody lovely section. Skips are going into pretty good. Wotsits are going into a disgrace section. And Walker's crisps are going into the It's Alright. But finally, Space Raiders. Yes, pickled onion. Oh, this is bloody lovely. Space Raiders and Monster Munch, actually, they should be on the same tier. These are crisps that are designed to contain so much flavor and acid that your mouth will burn after eating a packet. And for that reason and masochism, they just belong in the bloody lovely tier. Okay, next up, we've got Kipling Angel Slices. These are going into the It's Alright category. Party Rings, I'm going to put in the Not Great category. Controversial opinion, I know, because I used to really like Party Rings, but I don't actually like them that much anymore. Penguin Biscuits are going in the Blessing to Britain category because they contain terrible jokes. And despite the fact that the biscuit isn't that great, I don't care. I love a dad joke. Percy Pigs, that's also going into the Blessings for Britain. They're fantastic. Pepperami is a reformed salty meat stick, so we're going to pop that in the Disgrace to Britain section. And I guess we can immediately cover some other snacks like the pot noodle. It's just dried noodles that you add hot water to, and it's quite possibly the backbone that keeps the entire nation's student population alive. There's also the pasta and sauce sachets that aren't that great, but are even cheaper than pot noodles, but outside of camping holidays, you wouldn't really want them. Oh, then we've got potato smileys. These are going into the pretty good category. Pizza Express Margarita Pizza, that's going into alright. It's kind of fine. Twiglets, I'm going to put in the It's Alright tier. I know I said I don't like Marmite, and Twiglets are just Marmite flavored crisps, but my wife loves them, and she would probably kick me out of the house if I didn't put them there. Okay, now we've got some legendary cakes we can cover. The Colin the Caterpillar cake is a blessing to Britain and one of the greatest cultural exports we've ever invented. Colin the Caterpillar sweets, however, from M&S are going into the not great tier. They're an okay form of sweet. Drumsticks are as well. I'm also going to put in the not great tier. This is one of the few sweets where I actually know people who have lost teeth because of them. Not because they rot the teeth, but because they're so sticky and solid, you will actually end up breaking a tooth trying to eat them. Yorkie bars are alright, it's just a solid brick of chocolate. Turkish Delight I think is a disgrace, I hate it. Wagon Wheels as well. The combination of cream and jam is just weird. The Yo-Yo Bear fruit rollers I'm putting in the pretty good category, they're rather tasty. Drumstick squishies I'm also putting in pretty good because unlike the solid drumsticks, they won't kill you. Millions I'm going to definitely pop in the pretty good category as well, they're fantastically tasty. It's literally just condensed colored sugar, what's not to love? Weetabix, oh, that's a bloody lovely. Who doesn't love a good Weetabix for breakfast? And we've got the flake chocolate bar, that's alright. Fruit pastels, they're not great. Twister lollies, I'm gonna say pretty good. It's an ice lolly which contains a little bit of ice cream and frozen fruit flavor in a combination that's actually rather nice. Then we have, oh my, what is this? Branston small chunk pickled. Yeah, this is a disgrace to Britain. I know there are old people who love it, but it's disgusting. Same for mushy peas. Anyone who orders mushy peas is just someone who would be okay eating dog's vomit, okay? It's disgusting. I'm just not a fan of mushy peas. And then we got Tango Orange. This can go into the It's Alright category. And before we get to the most important thing on the list, I think we should deal with some of the food options. So we have pork pies is going into the pretty good category. I'm a big fan of pork pies, but I understand that a slab of reformed meat surrounded in pastry is kind of weird. It's a very dense form of meat as well. However, the sausage roll I think is bloody lovely because it actually minimizes the density of the pork to create an overall better balance between pastry and reformed pig. Next up we have scones or scones if you're poor, which is usually had with cream and jam. This is going into the pretty good category. It's good for an afternoon tea, but you wouldn't exactly want it every day of the week. Then we've got Scotch egg. It is a semi-boiled egg wrapped inside of meat and then coated in bread. I'm actually going to say it's all right. I would have put it in pretty good, but I recently had some at an event and about 40 minutes later I developed a crippling migraine, so I'm going to blame that on the Scotch eggs. Okay, then we have shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie is great. It's mashed potato and then some mince and a bunch of vegetables. A lovely historical dish for the UK. It's honestly a blessing to Britain. Whilst I might not have it too often now, it's a very versatile dish. It's easy to make vegetarian and vegan versions of it, and usually 9 out of 10 times it tastes fantastic. Okay, then we have a roast dinner. Yep, this is straight into the blessing to Britain category. It is a meat, potato, usually Yorkshire pudding and some vegetables. Is it the most flavorful meal on the planet? No. Is it a Michelin star meal? No. But does it warm the soul? Yes, it does. So it's a blessing to Britain. Now for the penultimate item, it's a toad in the hole, which is just the large quantities of sausage cooked in batter, and this is bloody lovely. I love it. It's basically a macro scale sausage roll. What's not to love? And finally, the greatest thing in the universe. The ascended god tier item. The one, the only, the greatest thing that has ever existed on the planet. Tea. Yes! Oh, it's so Good. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been my very important, very critical, objectively perfect and spot-on tier list of British foods and snacks. You can fight me in the comment section, but your opinion is wrong, because I am the spiffing Brit and what I say is law. Tomorrow, bounties and cheese balls will be banned on the streets of Britain, and everyone will be drinking tea as they chow down on some hobnobs. Lovely. Right, well there we go. This has actually been the ultimate extended version of the video that basically no one else gets to see. You have seen it. Congratulations, you're very special. And who knows, maybe there was actually extra stuff after this that I cut. Maybe there was a video within a video within a video. I'm not saying whether that was the case or not. You'll just have to come up with your own theories. But this is all for you today. So thank you very much for watching. A huge thank you to, of course, liking the video, subscribing,